what you think.
X-Men was released in 2000 and was directed by Bryan Singer, and the screenplay was by David Hayter, who's also the voice of Solid Snake, so there you go, there's something cool. And this film, it starred Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry, Famke Janssen, James Marsden, among many others, and obviously Anna Paquin as Rogue. Now, I watched this film on 4K recently, and I have to say that it's actually still a really good film. It's got a very good pace. It didn't seem to drag at all. I haven't watched it in like 10, 12 years, so it was quite good. There were parts in it that I'd forgotten were in it, and there were some pretty cool action scenes. I do have a couple of minors with this movie, but we'll get to that a bit later on. First of all, I just want to say that this film was just something else when it originally came out. Of course, it opens in 1944 with Magneto's parents being taken by the Nazis, and it's very somber and very dark, really. And then, of course, the following scene on from that is Rogue obviously putting her boyfriend into some sort of coma because her mutant power kicks in where she's touching people. And so it starts off on a very, very somber note. Of course, when it gets to Wolverine, it's totally badass. Hugh Jackman has killed it from the very, very beginning. But apart from some CGI in the film, which, to be fair, most of it is aged pretty well. There's only a couple of shots where, like, there's one which is a bit silly, where Wolverine is sort of getting thrown by Sabretooth off of the not Empire State Building, the Statue of Liberty, and he claws one of the spikes off of the statue and spins around. That didn't hold up very well, especially in 4K, and there's a couple of bits with Mystique when she's changing from person to person. But considering this film came out 24 years ago, it's still doing very, very very good things with it. There's a lot of practical effects in it, which is really awesome, and we very much appreciate. Also, the other negative, besides just the dodgy CGI, is they done Cyclops bad and Storm bad in this movie. Now, Toad is actually has a couple of funny moments, and he kicks too much ass really for being Toad. And I think having Sabretooth go down the just sort of roaring musclehead route was I didn't like that decision. Now, Ian McKellen and Patrick Stewart do fantastic jobs as Professor Xavier and as Magneto, so they kick ass. Everyone does really, really well. It's just unfortunate for James Marsden, because he is good as Cyclops, but he's just not given enough to do. Cyclops is badass. I've liked Cyclops a lot. I always play as him in Marvel vs. Capcom or X-Men Mutants Academy back on the PlayStation. I always chose Cyclops, and unfortunately, the only time in the original trilogy where his eye-beams look cool is when he loses his shit in X-Men The Last Stand and blasts the lake because he can hear Jean. That's pretty much the only time his eye-beams look badass. Apart from that, they look like budget Star Wars lasers, which is unfortunate. It may have just been a product of the times, but excuse me, who knows. But yeah, I highly recommend X-Men. It's a very good film. It's got a very simple plot, obviously involving Magneto hating humans and trying to turn some humans into mutants just to prove a point. But apart from that, and the dodgy CGI and how wanky Storm's character and Cyclops' character comes across, still a very good film, and I very much did enjoy it. I do have all the other X-Men films and Deadpool and New Mutants to watch, so I'm going to be looking forward to watching those and reviewing those over the next coming weeks, so hopefully I'll catch you on those. But please let me know in the comments down below what you think of X-Men, and as always, thank you very much for watching.
We're not what you think.